On an alternate version of Earth, humanity starts developing robots with an advanced AI. Called simulant or just Sims, they quickly become part of everyday life. And to make them more human-like, people volunteer to have their faces scanned and recreated onto robots. Soon the Sims aren't just workers, they're companions, athletes, and law enforcement. But in 2055, a nuclear warhead detonates over Los Angeles, incinerating nearly 1 million people. The Western world blames a government-created sim and unites to ban all artificial intelligence. New Asia refuses. There, Sims are citizens. The United States launches a war to eradicate every last Sim, striking New Asia with relentless force. Their most powerful weapon is the Nomad, a massive orbital station that scans the Earth and wipes out any detected simulant. The Army's greatest objective is to find Nirmata, the scientist and leader driving AI. Forward. 10 years into the war, a squad of American soldiers moves quietly along the coast of New Asia as Nomad patrols the sky above. Nearby, Joshua lives with his pregnant wife Maya, who has a distinctive tattoo on her arm. One night they hear a disturbance outside, and Joshua, fitted with robotic limbs, goes to investigate. He finds Haroon, a sim commander, and his group of guards, who have captured an American soldier named Drew after catching him sneaking through the area. The sim beats Drew for information, but Drew says nothing, and Nomad is drawing closer. The group decides to find a new hideout. While Haroon's soldiers rush to prepare the boats and Maya packs, Joshua pulls Drew aside. It turns out Joshua is also an American soldier on an undercover mission. He married Maya because she is Nirmata's daughter. Outside, gunfire erupts as Sim and American soldiers clash. Joshua grabs Drew's radio and begs the commander to call off the raid. Nirmata isn't here. Maya overhears everything. She raises her gun at Joshua, furious and heartbroken, but before he can explain, soldiers drag him out of the house. Maya flees to the boats with Haroon's people. At that moment, Nomad fires. A missile tears through the water and kills them all. 5 years later, Joshua is back in America, barely holding himself together. He takes medication for his PTSD and sits through therapy sessions where lie detectors ensure he's hiding nothing. He works at Ground Zero in Los Angeles as part of a cleanup crew. One afternoon, he and a coworker find a robot that suddenly comes alive, rattling its limbs and begging for mercy so convincingly that his coworker panics. Joshua shuts it down without flinching and reminds the man, they're just machines. No feelings, no soul. All recovered robots are taken away to be destroyed. At home that night, Joshua watches old videos of Maya. He remembers her customizing his robotic limbs, and the day he shared how he lost his real arms in the LA blast, the same day he lost his entire family. He goes for a swim, and when he surfaces, General Andrews and Colonel Howell are waiting for him. They tell him that Nirmata is building a superweapon capable of destroying Nomad, and without the station, the United States loses the war. Joshua knows the layout of the lab better than anyone. They need him to lead a team inside and destroy it. Joshua refuses, reminding them bitterly that they destroyed his mission and killed his wife. Then Howell plays a holographic video. Maya is alive. Joshua is on the plane before the night is over. The team flies into New Asia, lands after a Nomad scan, and follows Joshua toward the lab, only to find a village built directly over it. The soldiers force the locals to their knees and interrogate them at gunpoint. When McBride threatens to shoot a little girl's dog, the child shakes with fear, and her trembling arm inadvertently points toward an altar. Joshua twists a totem on it, and an entrance to the lab opens beneath. McBride and Bradbury stay outside as guards while the rest push in. They move through a long corridor and begin shooting down the technicians. Joshua checks the security cameras for Maya. The team presses deeper, but the remaining workers seal themselves behind bulletproof doors. The locks need facial recognition to open. One of the soldiers pries a dead technician's face free with a knife. Outside, Bradbury spots police closing in. She fires a few missiles before pretending to surrender, buying time, but more police arrive and she's forced to take cover. The team gets through the doors and finds a vault that needs to be hacked. Shipley and Joshua stay to work the system, while the others fight off incoming guards. They start losing men. Shipley rushes to help. When the vault finally opens, Joshua steps inside alone and finds a child sitting on a couch, watching television. She is a simulant. A child sim. Something never done before. Before Joshua can process it, a scientist shoots him from behind and ushers the girl out through an emergency exit, telling her to find Nirmata. The child steps outside and sees the world for the first time, and sees a battlefield. Joshua stumbles out after her, searching the fleeing scientist for Maya's face, but she isn't there. The rest of the team retreats to the plane. Nomad is preparing to fire. Howell goes to check something first and disappears. Bradbury sprints for the plane and barely makes it, but she's brought a bomb attached to her back without knowing. It detonates midair. The plane crashes just as Nomad levels the area, and the shockwave knocks Joshua out cold. The next morning, Joshua wakes up on a boat. The sim girl is there, staring at him. He throws a rock to make her leave. She throws it back. He finds a wounded Shipley nearby and carries him to an empty house to hide from the police sweeping the area. The girl has followed them. She turns on the television. Joshua turns it off. She turns it back on with nothing but a wave of her hand. Joshua understands she is the superweapon. His communicator rings. It's Howell, and nearby farmer Sim hears it. Howell orders Joshua to kill the child. But when he looks down, the girl is drawing Maya's tattoo in the dirt. He puts his gun down. The farmer, whose translator reveals he plans to protect the girl, forces Joshua to shoot first. The gunshot brings the police. They surround a house and throw a grenade, but a dog catches it and carries it back outside, scattering the cops. The girl uses her power to start a truck, and they escape. Joshua asks her name. Her ear reads Alpha Omega. He calls her Alfie. McBride and Howell, having escaped from police custody by killing their captor and taking the van, begin hunting Joshua. Shipley demands a hospital. Joshua says they're too far from an American base. Before he can figure out another plan, Shipley's wounds take him. He dies in the truck. At a checkpoint, wanted posters of Joshua and Alfie are already posted. Alfie cuts the power across the whole area, sparks a distraction, and remotely pilots the car into the city. Later, Joshua takes Alfie to find Drew, the same man who gave him the undercover mission years ago. Drew changed after the attack. He's now living in a sim factory deep in pro-AI territory in a relationship with a sim named Cammy. Drew can't crack Alfie's encryption, but he can analyze her abilities. What he finds is disturbing. Alfie has the potential to control all technology remotely, and that range will keep growing. The reunion is cut short when a delivery arrives. It's Bowie, a cop who shares a face from the same donor as a sim Howell has been using, and the delivery box contains a bomb. Cammy is killed. Police flood the building. Joshua fights through them all with Alfie watching calmly from the couch, and the three of them escape into the city. Howell arrives later, takes Cammy's head, and begins planning to hack her. Drew tracks Maya's ring. It's at Joshua's old house, half flooded. Joshua finds the ring and watches the security recording of the attack. When Alfie comes to warn him soldiers are coming, he snaps at her. Alfie cries, and for the first time, Joshua truly sees her. He pulls her into a hug and apologizes. Then Drew comes through the door and is shot. Dying, he tells Joshua the truth. Maya is Nirmata. That's why they attacked 5 years ago. They couldn't tell Joshua because of how much he loved her. Haroon's sim soldiers take Joshua captive. On a ship, Haroon explains the rest. Maya's father was the original Nirmata, but when he died, she became the new one and built Alfie specifically to stop Nomad. The nuclear explosion in Los Angeles was caused by a human programming error. The Sims were blamed to justify the war. If they win, they want no revenge. They just want to live in peace. When Nomad begins destroying their base, Joshua talks Alfie into helping him escape. He dives into the sea. The soldiers fire and, seeing nothing, assume he is dead. Joshua grips the underside of the ship and rides it to shore. In the city, he watches humans and Sims living side by side without conflict. He watches people mourn fallen robots the way they would mourn a person. A sim teacher tells children about coexistence. That night, Joshua disables Haroon and tries to escape with Alfie by boat, but the Americans arrive in force, tanks smashing through buildings, missiles falling everywhere. Alfie refuses to run. She stays to help her people. McBride shoots her down. Joshua kills McBride. With Alfie unconscious, Howell's walking bomb reactivates and Joshua grabs her and runs as the bridge collapses behind them. Haroon agrees to take them to Nirmata to save Alfie. They reach a mountain temple. A monk tells Joshua what Yin Dang means, heaven. Inside, Alfie is already recovering, and Maya's body lies connected to a machine that has been keeping it functioning for 5 years. She hasn't truly been alive. The monks cannot bring themselves to disconnect near Mata. Only Joshua can. He stands over her, crying, and apologizes for everything. Then he turns the machine off. Howl and her soldiers into the temple. She holds Joshua at gunpoint and downloads Maya's consciousness into a chip. Haroon shoot Howl. Her soldiers shoot Haroon. Alfie activates the bomb on Howl's back and kills them all. Haroon gets back to his feet and tells Joshua to destroy Nomad. Joshua takes Alfie and the chip and runs, but American forces immediately capture them and separate them. Back at the base in Los Angeles, Andrews orders Joshua to kill Alfie. Joshua leans close and whispers to her. Her vitals drop to 0 on the monitors. Andrews is satisfied. But on the way to the incinerator, Alfie opens her eyes. She was in standby mode. She crashes a vehicle to clear their escape, and they run to the spaceport, board a plane, and Alfie steers it straight toward Nomad. After the civilians are let off, guards storm the cabin. Joshua blows open a door, and the vacuum pulls them into space. He plants an explosive 10 minutes on the clock. Andrews launches a full missile barrage on every sim settlement on Earth. Joshua gives Maya's chip to Alfie and tells her to stop it. She sprints through Nomad's corridors and finds the right room, and with a single surge of power, she freezes every missile mid-launch. On her way back, she takes a wrong turn and finds a room full of dormant sims, one wearing Maya's face. She installs the chip. Nothing happens. Joshua's oxygen is nearly gone. Alfie finds him in time, takes him to a pressurized room, and prepares the escape pod. Andrews releases his final weapon, a giant mechanical octopus that seizes Alfie. Joshua forces the pod door shut, and it severs the robot's limbs. The machine grabs Joshua. Alfie commands it to release him and sends it crashing to the floor. The pod door is broken. The bomb counts down. Joshua tells Alfie he'll meet her in heaven and releases the pod into space. He turns and walks back through the station, and Maya is there, standing. The chip worked after all. They run toward each other through the shaking, exploding corridors and meet with a kiss as the Nomad tears itself apart around them. The explosion ends them together. Far below, Alfie's pod lands softly on the Earth. She steps out into the light, into the cheers of the simulants,